かわいそうなのはあの子だわ。
Yeah, because Leash.
本当に面白い。
Yes, yes.
あの子どんな顔するのかしら。これはまた一悶着ありそうですね。
Hello, comrades. Welcome back. And this is detectfanive, and today we are going to be watching the Apothecary Diaries episode 7, Homecoming. Yeah, that's. But before we do, let's talk about the previous episode 6, the garden party. From that episode, Lishu has a rash due to the mackerel that she had. So basically, this is what happened. By mistake, which I probably didn't talk about because I wasn't clicking it together, but apparently, Gyokyo and Lady Lishu's food have been swapped by mistake. So that mackerel for her was due to the rash. But because those got swapped, that was how Maomao figured out that it was poison, and she has a complex when it comes to poison. But the point is that the target, they understand who the target is, which happens to be Lady Lishu. And now, I also want to talk about Dowager. She has 2 children, one that she is holding and one that is sick. At first, I was thinking it's a possibility that the Empress Dowager could be possibly be Jinshi's mother, but I don't know, because then they also said that he was sick, so I could probably be wrong, but that's what I was thinking at first, but that's probably wrong because he is sick. But we also get to learn about Lady Lishu and a duo who tend to clash one another, so they don't get along very well. Kind of like Gyokyo and Lihuya. So yeah, everyone's not getting along. But I was very shocked with the history because when they said it was complicated, it was very complicated because the previous emperor had Lishu at the age of 9, which yeah, it's weird. It's weird, not gonna lie. And she's the mother-in-law for a duo. A duo. So, yeah, that was interesting to learn. Yeah. So, that was a complicated history, and going back to Maomao with her poison obsessive complex with poison, I also want to discuss that she is allergic to buckwheat to the point where it takes a long time for her to heal because she can't build a tolerance with that type of food for herself. So, I get the feeling we are going to see that in the future with her possibly eating buckwheat by accident. I'm not sure. Because, yeah. Anyways, the hairpin has a hidden meaning. Not sure what that hidden meaning means, but it's also a way to recruit for their talent. And I'm pretty sure Lihaku did not know that he has recruited a talented person who is an apothecary, and Lihuya also gave one to her, and as well as Jinshi. So yeah, Gyokyo is probably not going to be very happy about this situation, but that's okay. Well, especially with Lady Lihuya giving her a hairpin. So, yeah. Anyways, now that we discussed that, we are going to. Oh, I'm not sure who's targeting Lishu, but given that we did see that shadow from 2 episodes ago that seems to have the same hairstyle as Gyokyo, that's my only suspicion as of right now. Everyone else I'm not suspicious of. So, yeah. And now, on to episode 7. Oh! Oh, I forgot that her dad is probably worried sick about her. Yo, can she just go home, please? To her dad, at least? He's not doing okay when his daughter's missing, my man.
何言ってるの？毒を食べた大臣は大変だったんだから。4人はゆっくり寝てて。
Aw,
おかげで
so
ゆっくり
sweet.
寝られたものの、さすがに昼までは寝すぎだ。今さらすっぴんは
Time
ね。
flies so quickly when you sleep that long. Aw, she's so cute.
そうもいきません。何かあればお申し付けください。あら、そばかすが。落ち着かないので、このままでもよろしいでしょうか。それもそうね。あの次女は何者だって、みんなから詰め寄られて大変だったから。申し訳ございません。いいのよ。それより朝からガオシュンが来ているけどどうする？暇そうだったから草むしりをしてもらっているんだけど。草むしり？園遊会の時は結構な高官の席にいたのに、あの男はあの男で次女たちの心を掴んでいるに違いない。応接間を貸していただいてもよろしいでしょうか。わかったわ。ほんにゃん。はい。心なしか。ほんにゃんの目も輝いているような。これは玉葉様が飲むはずだったスープですね。
はい。
ご丁寧に。
食べないでくださいね。
食べません。銀は腐食が激しいので、今はもう酸化していて、美味しくありません。
美味しく。
これ、素手で持ったりしましたか？
いいえ、器には触れず、毒かどうか中身をさじで取っただけです。その後はすぐに布で包みました。綿と粉と筆ですね。
はい。
これで一体何を？
私のいた薬屋では、いたずら防止に触れてはいけない器に染料をつけていました。簡単ですよ。小さく丸めた綿に粉をつけて、器にまぶしていきます。最後に筆で余分な粉を落とせば。
to get the fingerprints.
出ました。指先などが触れると、跡が残ってしまいます。腐食しやすい銀食器なら、なおのこと。銀食器は使う前に必ず布で拭きます。
つまり今ここに残っている指の跡は、拭かれた後に食器を持った人間のものだと。
そういうことです。指の跡の大きさと位置でどのように持ったのかくらいは推測できるでしょう。器を持ったの。
いかがしましたか？
いいえ。器を持ったのは全部でおそらく4人です。
4人ですか？
まず器の周りに触れた3人。
Okay. Yeah, because she had to put it to pour the soup.
配膳
The one who had to carry it so that they can eat it.
したもの。リーシュ
And Lady Liushu's taster.
様の
Yep.
毒味役。
But there was one more. Why do they show this foreshadow? It looks like Gyokyo's foreshadow. Like in this shadow. There's no other way. Like, look at that.
してもう一人。器の縁を触った第三者。毒を入れたのは不明な第三者に間違いないと思います。
それが事実とすれば、
Unknown, mate.
なぜ
Oh,
上級
okay,
品
yeah.
の器に毒味役の指の跡が？
簡単なことです。リーシュ様の毒味役が嫌がらせにわざと入れ替えたのでしょう。
Yep.
毒とは知らずに。
入れ替えた？
いじめです。
上級品に対して次女が？
信じられないようですね。
聞かせてもらえますか？
Well, she is
これはあく
14.
まで
So she does act like a brat, so they probably don't get along with, she probably doesn't get along with her
園遊
ladies
会
in
での衣
waiting.
装を覚えていますか？
はい。確か派手な濃い桃色の。
普通に考えるなら、玉葉様と被る衣装を妃が選んだ場合、次女は他の衣装を勧めます。しかし、お付きの者は皆白い衣を着ていました。
Oh.
あれでは、桃色の衣装を着ていたリーシュ様は空気が読めない同居同然です。次女は主を立てるもの
That's
です。
because she's
そうなると
young.
あの日、
次女としての立場もわきまえられないの？
桃色の衣を勧めるなんて。不甲斐ないリーシュ様の侍女たちをアードゥオ様の侍女たちが諌めていた。
Oh,
敵
they
だら
weren't
けの
even
皇宮の
fighting.
中で
They were
妃が真に信じられるのは
offended what they were
自分の
doing
侍
to
女
their
たち
own
だけです。
concubine.
わざと恥をかかされたのでしょう。何の疑いも
Yeah.
なく。
それだけで
Damn.
なく、食事を入れ替えて、さらにリーシュ妃を困らせようとしたと。
Mm-hmm.
毒とは知らずに結果として命拾いしましたけど、嫌なやり方です。
どうしてそんなことを。
リーシュ様は幼いながら選定の妃となり、その後すぐ出家した特殊な立場。妻は夫に身をもって尽くすものだと幼い頃から教育されます。周りから見れば亡き夫の息子に嫁ぐなんて不徳も甚だしいということでしょう。器の縁にある跡は毒を混ぜた犯人のものだと思います。縁を押さえて毒を混ぜ入れたのかと。
Because the previous emperor, they
高
still
貴な方の
respect
唇が触れ
the
る場
current
所を
one.
指怪我しては
Oh
なら
my
ない。
gosh, but
本
they're
人の
going
教え
about
であ
it
る。
so wrong.
私の見解は以上です。
They're idiots though, because the emperor
一つ
would have noticed
聞いてよい
that,
ですか？
right?
なんでしょう。
なぜ昨日あの毒味役の次女をかばおうとしたのですか？ただの興味本位です。追求するつもりはありません。
下女の命など妃に比べたら軽くたやすいものです。
Yeah, she would have been
ましてや
executed.
毒味役の命ともなれば。
Oh, she respects her because she's the same as her with the
ジン様に
taster.
はうまく説明します。
ありがとうございます。ま、せっかく取り替えてくれたんだからお礼はしないとね。
Yeah.
毒の味見ができたし、やっぱりあのスープ飲み込んでおけばよかったな。
Jeez.
以上です。
なるほどね。いつ聞いてもお前の物言いはうまいな。
状
Probably
況からは
because
そうなり
he
ます
doesn't get so touchy with her, unlike
簡
you.
単に言ってくれる。この騒ぎで昨日から寝る暇もない。着替えもできてない。思考を放棄したい。
巣が出てきていますよ。
誰もいないからよくないか？
私がいます。
そこはおまけで。
ダメです。
何を言ってもダメか。
長い付き合いですので。
生まれた時から面倒を見られるのも厄介なものだな。
Oh?
ジン様、かんざし刺したままですよ。
Wait,
いけ
since
ね
he was born? What does that even mean? He watched him since he was... Is he the emperor's son then? Or the previous one? Because the only way you're being watched over by a guard since you were born means he's a prince of some sort. Well, it's an emperor. So would you even consider it a prince? It's just the emperor's son. So this is the emperor's son or the previous emperor's son? What the heck? So he's a prince, right?
すっかり忘れてた。
紙に隠れていたので、本当のご身分に気づく者はいないかと。
頼
Yep.
むわ、保管。
またそんな雑に扱って
He。said no one knows his true status.
特別な方しか身につけられないものですから、大切にしてください。
わかってるよ。
わかってません。それでは失礼します。
But he can't bear any children, is what it was said in the first episode. So that means
じゃあさ、
He's
かんざし
doing
もらった
whatever-
りした？
he's doing the work for the emperor to see which of these concubines are loyal to him and not loyal to him, as it was mentioned in episode 2, 3, somewhere around there. Wow, I'm learning a lot.
よ、
Yeah, she got 3.
じゃあ、高級から出られるんだね。
今
は
なんて言った？
高級から出られる？
その話詳しく。
What?
おい、
Kid, get out of the rare palace. What do you mean?
高級って外の男性とは会えないけど、特別な許可があれば男性が女官を連れ出すことができるの。
ふむ、それが園遊会で配っているかんざしってわけか。
その通り。逆にかんざしを使えば高級から出してって頼むこともできるんだって。
なるほど。
Oh.
ありがとうシャオラン。試してみる。
Yeah.
どういたしまして。 かんざしごちそうさ
Thank you.
ま。美味しかった。
She needs to go see her dad.
もらったかんざしは全部で4つ。
Four.
男性からのかんざしは2つ。
I don't know if that was a hairpin. It was more of
大
a
事なものを
necklace,
失った
right?
あっちは男性とは言わないか。
薬や。
よし。
Yeah, but you got the princess hairpin, so that means more than enough.
高級の旅館がこちらへ。
わかった。まったな。義理のかんざしを本気にされたか。しかし美人の誘いだったらもったいないし。翡翠宮の次女には一人しか渡してない。ということは。あれか。
Yep,
さ
the one who's
どう断るかな。
obsessive complex of poison.
失礼します。
He's not impressed because he
お待たせしました
deceived him
ん
with
誰
how
だお前
delicious the food was when it
よく
was
言われます。
poison.
お前、化粧で化けるって言われないか。
Mm-hmm.
それもよく言われます。
しかしまた、俺を呼び出すなんて。
実家に戻りた
Man,
い
so
と思い
cocky,
まして
man.。
実家？これがどういう意味か分かってるのか？
身元を保証していただければ、一時帰宅は可能と聞きました。
呆れたやつだ。
Yep.
次女の身分で武漢の俺に身元保証だけをしろと。
Yes.
はい。
はあ、そのためにわざわざ俺を呼び出したと。
はい。
Yeah.
同担というか命知らずというか。つまりなんだ。俺はジョーちゃんの里帰りにうまく利用されろってことか。
いいえ
Uh,
こちらもそれなりにお礼ができないかと考えています。
yeah, she's an apothecary.
六召喚で花見はいかがかと。
六召喚！冗談だろ！一晩で1年分の給金が吹っ飛ぶ高級技能だぞ！
場合ならば、この紹介状を見せればわかります。パイリ、ジョーカ、メイ
Got him. She got
ますま
him.
す信じられん。高級官僚でもなかなか手を出せない三姫じゃないか。
信じられないなら仕方ないですね。申し訳ありません。お手間をかけました。
Yeah, man.
非常に残念ですが、他を当たりますので、この話はなかったことに。
この女、他にも当てがあるのか。紅水晶と銀製のかんざし。
Yep.
明らかに俺より高官だろう。だとすれば、この話も
She played
いやいや、怪しすぎる。でももし本当なら、あの三姫に出会える機会なんて、今後二度と、俺はどうすれば。
どうなさいますか？
Goodbye. Choose. You know what you're choosing, my man. You're weak,
俺の負け
Lihaku.
だ。
Exactly.
まさか私たちより先にマ
大丈夫ですよ。お土産は買ってきます。
あの様
Coincidence?
子じゃ、かんざしの意味、絶対分かってませんよ。
そうね、絶対。まったく、かわいそうなのはあの子だわ。
Yeah, because she.
本当に面白い。
Yes, yes.
あの子どんな顔するのかしら。これは、また一悶着ありそうですね。
仕事を片付けてようやく暇になったジンシがやってきた
Yeah,
のは
just she's
マ
gonna
オマ
be
オが出
so
発した
jealous.
翌日のこ
I love
と。
Gyokyo.
Oh
She
my
knows
ある
this
お
is
方と一緒に
entertaining.
行ってしまったわ。みかんの里帰り。
故郷である花町は、それほど遠い場所ではない。
Yeah, he's not gonna be happy when she
高級から
comes back.
塀と堀を越えて歩けるほどの距離にある。馬車を出すなんて贅沢だな。ま、六召喚の三姫といえば、民からも承継を集める雲の上のアイドルだからな。一目会えることですら名誉になる存在だ。
お
Yeah.
見えてきたぞ。花町だ。
Yay.
そんな存在に憧れ、遊郭の門を叩く娘もいるが、簡単になれるものではない。カムロと呼ばれる妓女見習いですら、売れる保証はない世界だ。
ここが六召喚か。
はい。
Pretty guest house.
なんだか
Oh, yeah, that's
風格
right.
のある
She
な。
does have
中級
those
から
in
最上
contact.
級まで妓女を取り揃えている老舗の妓楼ですから。お、
久しぶりばあさんみんな元気にして
Yep. You made your dad worry.
何が久しぶりだい、このバカ娘。
大丈夫か？なんなんだよこのばあ
The
さん。
heck?
召喚の店主、やり手ババアです。懐かしいな。昔はよくこれで毒を吐き出したもんだ。
ああ、俺が乗客かい？顔立ちも男前だし、いい体格してるじゃないか。話によると出世株らしいね。
ばあちゃん、それ本人の目の前で言うのはどうよ。
おい、パイリン呼んできな。今日は茶引きのはずだ。
パイリン、
リハクさん、腕の筋肉に自信はありますか？
体は鍛えているつもりだぞ。
ひょっとしたら。
こちらへどうぞ。
緊張してきた。
うまくやってくださいね。
お
She's really pretty.
まあまあ、まったくお前は、とつきも
Yeah,
連絡
man.
よこさず消え
Made
やが
your
って。
dad worried sick.
仕方ないだろう。送った木簡読んでないの？
読んだから、一元お断りのところをこんだけ面倒見てやってんだろ。
わかってるって。今まで
At
高
least
級
she
で働い
did.
た
She
給
did
金
send
の
a
半
letter.
分
Okay, that's good.
特別に先払いにしても
I
らっ
was
た。
worried about
大丈夫、
why she
パイリン
was
だ。
just
こんだ
so
けじゃ
chill
足りな
about
い
it.
ね。
お茶くらいなら負けてくんない？
バカ、あの腕っぷしでパイリンが何もしないわけないだろ。
やっぱり。でもそれ不可抗力。
なわけあるかい。ちゃんと感情に入れとくからね。
いや、払えないって。
なら乗客どんどんよこしな。
宦官でも客になるのか？あれはダメだ。妓女たちが本気になり、店が潰れる。でもガオシュンやヤブ医者は気が引けるし。
Yeah.
まあまあ、じじいは家にいるはずだ。さっさと行ってや
Yeah,
るな。
man. Go visit your dad. Your dad must have been worried sick.
通りを一つ抜けただけで、花町は途端に景色を変える。立ち並ぶあばら屋に、物乞いと梅毒のよたか。変わらないな。
If she gets slapped, that's what I'm not gonna be surprised.
ただいま、親父。
おう、おかえり。遅かったね。
やっと帰ってこられた。
Seems like her dad's been paralyzed after the mom died. At least that's what I think.
まだ年季があるから、あさってには高級に戻るよ。
そうか。
眠いけど、風呂入りたいな。
明日、6章間でもらい湯するといい。
そうする。
I don't know. He just seems so out of it. Oh, maybe the dad. Aww. Huh?
高級とは因果だね。
Huh? Twist the fate of what? I thought he was just still in shock about his wife dying afterwards. Okay. Interesting. I know that Maomao was dreaming at the beginning of the episode where she was walking with her dad, and given that we have been told by the father at the end of the episode saying the rare palace would a twist of fate, something. This is just a stretch for right now because I don't know what's really going on. I do know that Maomao's mother had some sort of powder that made her beautiful, but it was also poison. And I'm getting the feeling for some reason that she got some sort of hairpin and gave it to Maomao's father for her to escape that place, but they never returned, which is probably why they're in the crappy area. So I don't know what this whole situation is, but there's probably some bad blood over there. I mean, considering he said the rare palace would a twist of fate, so there's that. But I'm glad Maomao went to go visit her father, because I was like, man, he must be worried sick. And then at first I was thinking, when he didn't look too worried, and I was thinking it was probably because the letter she sent to the lady for the Verticus house, which is fine. But I was also thinking it was probably because, not paralyzed. I did say paralyzed, but that's not what I meant. I meant like he was in shock after the mom died, and he's just never got out of that mentality. So I thought he was just like he knows he has a daughter, but like he doesn't really register that she's there until she says something. That's at first what I thought, but no, it's just he already knew that she was okay. So but anyways, yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. I'm not sure what's gonna happen because it is a 3-day that she is gonna be away from the palace, because she is home, which makes her happy. But yeah, and as she's doing that, Lihaku, that she she didn't really blackmail him. She basically was just like saying, I need you to escort me out of here to go back to my hometown, which is only it's like a walking distance, so it's not that far away. I kind of figured it was pretty close just because of the way Lihaku was talking about how expensive the Fertigus women those tickets are. I call it a ticket, but it's really a tablet, a wood tablet of some sort. So, but anyways, he wasn't really sure if he was gonna take Maomao's offer, but after she showed him those three offers of choosing between Paiden, Joka, and Meimei, he didn't know if he wanted to, but she also convinced him that he's not the only person she can talk to. And so he gave in. And he's probably going to go with Paiden, and she is really into muscular men. So he's really, he is very muscular. So that shouldn't be a problem. But then learned about Lady Lishu is being ridiculed by her lady in waitings for the fact that they were wearing a white, but they were also possibly convincing Lady Lishu to wear something pink, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for two reasons. One, you already know they are ridiculing her because of the fact that she is wearing something pink, which her lady in waitings are not. And two, they already know that Lady Gyokyo wears the crimson color, and just wearing something pink clashes that problem, so it's really canceling her out basically. So it's not making her stand out, but rather than kind of being in the shadows of Lady Gyokyo, which is pretty sad. So her lady in waitings are probably not respecting her due to the fact that her going to the current emperor is probably like shameful in their eyes from their point of view. However, Lady Lishu is, of course, with the previous empress, she was 9. But because he passed away 5 years ago, she is right now 14, I believe. And they are taking advantage of the situation, which is kind of sad to see this. Like, even Aduyo's lady in waitings that were ready, like, they were at first I thought like, oh boy, this is a fight between Aduyo's ladies in waiting with Lady Lishu's lady in waiting. Except the lady in waitings in Aduyo, they were lecturing Lady Lishu's lady in waitings for their crap, because they're embarrassing their own concubine by doing such a thing. So I believe Aduyo's lady in waitings are very considerate of others, because otherwise they wouldn't say anything about this, but they're very, from my point of view, I feel like Aduyo is probably really kind based on the lady in waitings that she has that lectured Lady Lishu's lady in waitings. So I kind of feel bad for the girl just because she is at a young age where she doesn't understand that she is being ridiculed. And then they also try to feed her mackerel, and to top it all off, someone is poisoning her food. So, like, honestly, I kind of felt bad for her. And they showed, like, there's 4 perspective of who was holding the bowl, and Yaoshun didn't really hold it, and that's why Maomao asked if he held it, and he's like, no, he just grabbed evidence. Well, he quickly took the evidence using the cloth and stuff. So Maomao used a powder of some sort to get the fingerprints, and they know that the lady who had to pour in the soup presented to them and put it on the table was the other one. And then the taster, which happens to be Lady Li Shu's taster, that also held it. But then there was a 4th one, and that's the mysterious one, but it looked like the way it was shaped, it looked like it was Gyokyo, but I'm not entirely sure. That's just my guess. And yeah, so I think for right now, Lady Li Shu is in danger, so she needs to be protected at all times. And that's probably where Gyoshun and Jinshi are going to probably protect her, because she is the one being targeted at the moment. But yeah, and then I get the feeling that I got the feeling earlier when Gyoshun has said he has taken care of Jinshi since the day he was born, gets me thinking that he is possibly a prince of some sort, because either he's the previous emperor's father, like, is his father, or the current emperor is his father. I'm not sure who, but I was convinced for 2 reasons. 1, Gaoshun should not be taking care of someone that was born unless they are higher status. 2, they did mention that that no one has suspected Genshi's true status. So that's what I believe. But we also know back in episode 1, there was rumors about him not being able to have a child, like to breed heirs of some sort. So there's that. But then you also have, I think, episode 2, 3, I don't know. There was, I do feel like he is doing the Emperor's work behind scenes, where he is supposed to make sure that these ladies of the concubines are loyal to the Emperor, otherwise they need to go. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, the reason Maomao did not tell Gaoshun and Jinshi the other day about Lady Li Shu's lady in waiting, that was the taster. The reason she didn't tell them was various reasons. For not telling them, it was Kerr who did the mackerel for Lady Li Shu, because 1, she is a taster for a reason. 2, she honestly kind of thanked her because Maomao has a complex for poison. And then 3, she probably felt bad for her, honestly. And I think she learned her lesson from the fair of Maomao. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm more curious about who's targeting Lady Li Shu. If we're ever going to know Genshi's true status, which I'm like pretty convinced that he is a prince, so I'm not gonna be surprised if they show that, honestly, because the way they were talking about it this episode wasn't that surprising, because the way they were talking about it seems like he's a prince of some sort. And then 3, I am curious about Maomao's parents, because the way he said the rare palace, what a twist of fate, almost sounds to me like her parents were in that situation. So yeah, that's what I think. And that's what I'm interested in to know. So basically 2 out of 3 that I'm interested in. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So, you lovely comrades, have a wonderful, beautiful, and an amazing day. Not kidding. Love you, comrades. Bye.